Hello, savvy shoppers. Today we're examining a shopping trend that's got everyone talking. It's called buy now, pay later. Ditching the dollars and embracing installments has the allure of instant gratification and perhaps a few potential pitfalls mixed in. So we're here to uncover both. SchoolsFirst Federal Credit Union is here to help us demystify buy now, pay later. Let's welcome Travis Mara, Roseville Branch Manager for SchoolsFirst. Hey, Travis.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, happy to have you on. So
thank you.
Give us a straightforward breakdown of what buy now, pay later actually is.
Yeah, buy now, pay later, or BNPL, is a popular, easy to use payment option where you're given an installment loan for a purchase right there at the checkout.
Yeah.
You repay this item in small increments over time. BNPLs really took off during the pandemic and have continued to grow really within the younger demographics. One of the main reasons for that is they are actually more accessible than even credit cards. BNPL companies can approve you right there on the spot, right at checkout, and really without having to dig too deep into your credit history, whereas credit card companies have to in order to get you approved for their services.
Yeah, so a lot more easy access. So what are the factors that make buy now, pay later so appealing, especially when compared to traditional payment methods?
Yeah, like I had mentioned, there isn't that formal credit check, so a lot of times it's a lot easier to get approved. So some individuals that maybe struggle finding that, getting approved for that credit card may find this as a better alternative.
Yeah.
Another feature is most, BNPLs have zero interest on their shorter term loans. So that way, the total amount you're paying on the item doesn't grow over time.
Yeah.
For example, if you were to buy something for, say, $200, you would pay that back in 4 installments of $50, which makes it a lot more, affordable, easier to manage for it.
Yeah.
Another option that is a bonus is you get the item right away. This is a major pro compared to, say, former traditional like layaway plans that would have you make regular payments, but you don't receive that item until you paid in full.
All right, you're telling us all the goodies. It sounds very appealing. What are some of the downfalls of buy now, pay later?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. And so, because of that informal credit check and because you only really need to make that initial installment payment right up front, it can kind of mislead us that we can afford something that we normally can't. And that can cause us to take on more debt than maybe we can reasonably pay off in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And although, zero interest is appealing, we have to be careful that some of those higher price items that come with longer payment terms actually do kind of charge interest. The other thing is, how does this impact our credit? If you make all of your installment payments on time, it may not have the positive impact as, say, a credit card would. And the reason is most BNPL companies don't report installment, payments. However, on the flip side, if you miss a payment, they do, and that can negatively impact it. And the last thing is returns can be tricky when dealing with a buy now, pay later purchase. And the reason is why it would delay receiving that monetary refund is the BNPL company has to communicate with the store, and as they're ironing things out, sorting through it, you still are required to maintain those installment payments. Because again, failure to make one could impact that credit negatively.
Yeah, so some obstacles to consider.
For sure.
So help us out. For someone eyeing a shiny new item, how should they know if buy now, pay later is a fit for them? Yeah,
and in order to kind of safeguard your budget as well as your credit, there's a lot of things to kind of consider before agreeing to a buy now, pay later purchase. The first one I always say is this a necessity? Do I really need this item? And if I do, am I able to pay this off in, say, 4 payments or less?
Yeah.
The second is we want to make sure we don't pay more for an item than we normally would, just because that initial payment is so affordable and we lose track of what am I totally paying for this. Third is we want to make sure we don't take out multiple buy now, pay later loans. It can be very tricky balancing multiple BNPLs at one time. Fourth is, as we kind of touched on credit, if you are looking to establish or repair your credit, you may want to consider using a credit card in lieu of this option. And then last, is very, very important, is always read the fine print. Sometimes we just look at payments and we just look at, oh, it's affordability, but what is that fine print? What are the fees? What are the terms? What is even the loan structure? Because each BNPL company has different kind of criteria, and even the same company, but for different purchases, has different loan structure for it. So as always, if you're looking for more financial wellness tips, click on our advice tab on our website at SchoolsFirstFCU.org.
All right, I like that you pointed out, remember the total, because even though those payments are smaller than the total, what is the grand total?
Exactly.
All good points. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
All right, you can visit one of the many Schools First Federal Credit Union branch locations as seen on the screen, and you can find out more online by going to SchoolsFirstFCU.org.